Hello and welcome to Lemming TV, and in today's episode I'll be continuing with my Jazz Marble League career mode. I hope you enjoy. So if you didn't see the last episode, then I advise you to check it out, but we did the fun endurance and the 5-meter sprint event. And what does this do for the championship? Well, now the Balls of Chaos are on top, then a Rangers, Shining Storm and Midnight Wisp, and we are in 9th position, so just a halfway mark. So in this episode we'll be doing the Relay and the Jousting event. I hope you enjoy. So before we go into that, let's check our messages. So, which team saw 2 members get injured in the bobsled event in Marble League 2018? I didn't watch 2018, but I do know that team members are quite injury prone, so I'll guess them, and I was correct there. Our team is performing well given the circumstances, however everyone feels the strategy be a little better and they're asking for a pay rise. Well, seeing as I don't think that our marbles can go on strike, I won't give it to them, it just saves us some money. People from PR would have asked if Greg can get an interview of the whole team. Would you like to take part? And yeah, it'd be nice to get an interview and all the exposure. We've moved up significantly in the standings, so it's just a bit of praise there. And Bob is quite tired right now, but there aren't any treatments. So if we do a training session between now and the rest of the video, we will put him on for that. So before we jump into this event, let's check everyone's stats. So for the relay, we need overall good speed, and as our speed isn't looking great, we'll probably go into a training event just to get our speed up, and also we would need some good strength overall for the jousting event, so we will do that. So first up is speed, and of course in the relay event you have to use 4 of your marbles to get through a track, so we will most likely use Jeff as he has the highest speed of the team, and we will use also Lord Parmesan, Pit the Elder and Tom, as they have higher speeds than Bob, who has quite a low speed. We're going to have to do a few training sessions later on in the season to try and get these stats a little bit better. They're not the best right now, and I'll put Pit the Elder out as he is the lowest speed of everyone who's going to be running. So let's see, can we try and get a decent score here? Decent start. We unfortunately missed one as it was quite far out, but still 9, which gives us a solid 18% improvement. That gets them up to 73. So next up, endurance. I do believe a pretty decent endurance, of course, Bob with 100. So now we're going to be looking at whether we would most likely choose marble that will be running in one of the next events. Of course, one of this is jousting, and I believe we need good strength for that, so we would most likely put out Pit the Elder and probably Tom, as he is the tied second strength, but Bob has a worse tiredness than him, so I'll put Tom out, but we will go and get his endurance and health up. And it does look like a fairly straight course for the endurance here. I can see quite a few in a row, so let's see if we can get a decent amount here. And just the last one we missed, it was very much out of our way, but still a pretty good score. We get 9, which adds 18%, getting up to 85. So next up we will most likely use Tom again, as we'll be using him for the jousting event, and it'll be nice for his strength to be slightly higher than 84. A 100 would be pretty good to go into that event. So let's see, what can we do here. Even if we miss a few, it'll be fine because we would have gotten to full strength anyway. So even though I got 9, I didn't need to get all 10, as we're still at 100 strength, and the 10th one would go to waste. Next up is motivation. So I do think we've got pretty decent motivation, apart from Lord Parmesan, who's down at 47. Of course, he will be going in the relay event, so we might as well send him down now. So let's see what can we get here. Seems like a fairly decent course, but an unfortunate bounce there, and we do miss quite a few. Only 7 there, which adds 40% gain up to 61. So next up is health. We will, as I said before, put Tom out as he's going to be in both the relay and jousting event, and he doesn't have the highest health here. So let's see what can we do now. It looks like a fairly easy course, but there is one hard one right at the end, which will be tough right here. And as I predicted, well, didn't predict, but I thought we missed it, and as I went for it, I did miss a few hours, which was quite unfortunate, but still a decent score there. And finally, we have tiredness, so I do believe that we said we put Bob out, as he is quite high tiredness, especially for so early on in the season. And of course, as the season goes on, our marbles will become more and more tired, and seeing as we're not close to halfway through yet, we should try and keep it down, and we do get a solid 18 there. That will help keep it down to 28. So now that we've done that, let's jump into the relay event. So if you don't know what the relay is, it's just a 5-meter sprint, but every 3 times, there's 3 times where you have to try and bounce the marble in front of you forward, and so it's a 4 marble event. So we see the one around there. So now Crazy Cat's Eyes, Cobalts, Rollers, and Shining Swarm, I believe. Shining Swarm, of course. Third in the championship, Balls of Chaos in leads are fairly big here, and it does look like the 2 highly ranked teams will be going through. So Crazy Cat's Eyes in this group, so Crazy Cat's Eyes and Shining Swarm will be going through into the next round. Next up, Hornets, Savage Speeders, Oceanics, and the Yarbles. Here, of course, Hornets doing pretty well in their first full season in the league, and the Yarbles also doing pretty well in this one here. And those 2 teams will be going through. Oceanics and Savage Speeders will be going out. So now we're up against Balls of Chaos, Midnight Race, and Team Primary. So as I said before, we'll pit the other Jeff, Lord Parmesan, and Tom leading us. Of course, in this group we also have Balls of Chaos, Midnight Wisp, and Team Primary. So let's see what we can do here. Of course, Balls of Chaos and Midnight Wisp quite high up in the championship. As we don't get the greatest start, we're really going to have to hope that we get some decent layups. That one was pretty good, and it's going to be very close to the line. Will we be able to get it? Didn't see. It was very close between us and Midnight Wisp, and we just about are able to get it by 0.031 ahead of the Midnight Wisp, and that's actually a pretty close round, with Team Primary only a 10th off the Balls of Chaos. So now, Snowballs, Green Ducks, O-Rangers, and Limes. Of course, O-Rangers second in the championship, only 1 point behind Balls of Chaos. Snowballs so far charging in the lead, and the Rangers will join them. Of course, both of these teams have won the league before, and Limers and Green Ducks will go out. So here you can see 9 down to 16th. So into the first semi-final, Crazy Cat's Eye, Shining Swarm, Yarbles, and the Hornets. Let's see who will be able to do well here. So far, it's quite close to the top 3. Shining Swarm now starting to fall back a little bit, but they do overtake the Hornets. I believe it's Crazy Cat's Eyes and Shining Swarm advancing to the final. This is with the Hornets and the Yarbles going out. Now we're up against Snowballs, Rangers, and the Balls of Chaos. Of course, pretty big round 2 with Rangers and Balls of Chaos. We will go with the same lineup as last round. Let's see whether we'll be able to make it through into the finals, or will one of 2 of these teams be able to get there before us. So far we're lagging behind at the starts, but it isn't that far of a gap, but I don't think we'll make it, and the Rangers and Balls of Chaos go through we were just able to get into 3rd position ahead of the Snowballs. So you can see Hornets, us, Snowballs, and Yobbles, a pretty decent 6th position for us, considering that we are 9th in the standings. And now into the final. Crazy Cat's Eye, Shining Storm, Rangers, and Balls of Chaos. 3 of the top 3 are here, so it's a massive event. The winner will get a very decent position in the league. So far, it's the Rangers and Balls of Chaos going out. Who will get it? It looks like the Rangers. I think Crazy Cat's Eyes might have been able to get them right at the end. Yes, Crazy Cat's Eyes beating out the 3 teams at the top of the championship. Bit of a upset there. So it's Shining Swarm, Balls of Chaos, Rangers, and the Crazy Cat's Eyes winning that event there. As we see the podium, what does this do for the championship? The Rangers jump up to 1st position now, ahead of the reigning world champions Balls of Chaos. Shining Swarm in 3rd position, as the Crazy Cat's Eye jumping up to 4th position. Then the Hornets dropping down. Midnight Wisp, Oceanics, we climb up to 8th. Then Snowballs, Cobalts, Yarbles, Green Ducks, Savage Speeders, Slammers, Roharods, and Team Primary round out in last position. So before we go into the jousting event, let's take a look at our messages. So we've been steadily improving over the last 3 events, and it's just a bit of encouragement there. So now we will go into the jousting event, but for that we'll just check in case any of our marbles stats have decreased, and I do believe it's pretty good. We are staying with Jeff and Tom, 96 and 92%. So let's jump into the jousting event. So if you don't know what that is, there's 2 marbles each side, and you have to try and put the ball bearing in the middle as far as you can. So as you see, a very small margin there, but of course in the rest of the event you'll see much bigger margins, as the marbles for the pupils are quite the same. So we see the opening games here. Big game, of course, Balls of Chaos, Midnight Wisp. So let's see what the first game will come out with. Cobalts vs Crazy Cat's Eye. Of course, Crazy Cat's Eye just winning the last event, and I do believe they will be continuing that form after they win here, 2.5, and the Cobalts will be out. Next up, Rojo Riders, Shining Swarm. Let's see what will happen here. Does look like Rojo was able to get it onto their side. They will win 4.1 against Shining Swarm. Now Hornets versus the Savage Speeders. Let's see what can these 2 teams do here. Of course, Hornets 1st and last season in our career mode, and Savage Speeders, Hornets have won that round. Next up, Oceanics versus the Yarbles. Of course, 2 teams that have you'd most likely think are around the ocean, Oceanics, and of course the Yarbles, which are pirate base, and the Oceanics are able to get the better of the Yarbles. Next up, we are against Team Primary. Of course, Team Primary in last position in the league, so I think we have decent chance here. Of course, we'll go with Tom and Jeff, as they have the higher strength, and this is a strength event. So let's see what can we do. I do believe we have one there, unless the ball bearing goes back, and we'll advance to the next round. Next up, big game here, Balls of Chaos, Midnight Wisp. Let's see what they can do. It looks like Midnight Wisp have won it here, and they do a pretty decent margin there, 10.1. Next up, Snowballs versus the Green Ducks. Let's see what can these teams do now. Of course, Green Ducks using their Joker here, and they just about win. Would have been a slight bit of a waste if they threw their Joker away with some very small points. And next up, the Rangers against the Limers. Let's see what can they do here. I do believe Rangers have won this event. Yes, they do, and they will be going on to the next round. So as you can see here for the quarterfinals, Crazy Cat's Eye, Rojo Rollers, Hornets, Oceanics, we're playing Midnight Wisp, and Green Ducks against the Oceanics. So let's jump into the first game. Crazy Cat's Eyes against the Rojo Rollers. Of course, Crazy Cat's Eyes doing pretty well last event. Will they be able to keep up their streak? But I do think that the Rojo Rollers just about are able to win, and they'll be going into the semis. Next up, Oceanics versus the Hornets. What can they do here? Oceanics, I do believe, have gotten the win there by, oh, that was actually quite unfortunate there for the Oceanics. They bounced off their marble, but they still won, but by a much less amount. So we're up against the Midnight Wisps. We will stick with our team who have done pretty well so far. Let's see, what can we do here? And all very nice there. One of our marbles coming in late and just pushing it very much up until the Midnight Wisp raiding. We will be advancing to the semis. And finally, Green Ducks versus Orange. Of course, Orange is doing pretty well, but I don't think they'll be doing well here. And the Green Ducks advancing to the semi-finals, knocking out the Orangers. So next up, we have Rojo Rollers Oceanics, and we play the Green Ducks. So pretty good opportunity for a podium for us, if not a win. But first we have Rojo Rollers going up against Oceanics, and I do believe the Oceanics have got the better of the Rojo Rollers. Oceanics will be going into the final, Rojo Rollers into the third place match. And now our big game against the Green Duck. Of course, keeping with our team. Let's see, what can we do here? So we go now. We are, I believe, able to win that one unless it bounces away from us. But we will be going into the final, and we have secured ourselves a medal. But before the final, we have the third place match. Rojo Rollers up against the Green Ducks, who will get a podium here. Of course, still a decent amount of points up for grabs. I do believe the Rojo Rollers have won this one. Green Ducks coming in 4th position. And now, the big game, us versus the Oceanics. Who will win here? Of course, keeping with our team that served us so well through this event so far. Can we potentially get our first win of the season? Let's see, who will it go with? And I do think that we have got it. And as it drifts to our side, it's by a pretty decent margin. 9.8 there. I think that's second biggest win of this event. As we see here, of course, we win. Then the Oceanics, Rojo Rollers, Green Ducks, Crazy Cat's Eyes, Rangers, Hornets, Midnight Wisp, Snowballs, Cobalts, Team Primary, Savage Speeders, Shining Storm, Limers, Yarbles, and Balls of Chaos coming in last position as we step on the top step of the podium. What does this do for the championship? Of course, Rangers staying at the top of the tables, just only 1 point ahead behind 100, only after the 6th event. That's pretty good from them. Then Balls of Chaos with 85. Crazy Cat's Eyes jumping up into the top 3 now. Shining Storm down off the top 3 positions. Then the Oceanics, we're up to 6th. Pretty good. A couple of events we've had today. Then the Hornets, Midnight Wisp, Green Ducks climbing up to 9th. Snowballs, Cobalts, Rojo Rollers, Yarbles, Savage Speeders, Slimers, and Team Primary staying in last position. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!